Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm a cake artist at Cakes by Erin in Haverhill, and I'm just going to show you how to do some filigree work on an already awesome looking cake. So I have 2 bags here filled with buttercream that is just dyed black. I have 2 different tips. I have a number 3 tip and I have a number 2 tip. The number 3 is what I'm going to be using to do the filigree work around the sides as well as the trim around the bottom. And the number 2 is just what I'm going to use for like fine details around the side. Go back and finish some details with the number 2. These are both really small tips. So I'll start with the scroll work around the side. I'm going to take my number 3 tip and I'm just going to be applying about even pressure around the side of the cake, just kind of scrolling around using empty spaces to kind of make a cool, funky design. So I'll start off getting enough frosting to fill my hand. If I put in too much frosting, I'm going to lose the pressure that I want. So I'll start over here, just kind of scrolling around, fixing small little mistakes as I go around. Just a basic swirl you can start off with, and you can add so much more to it. So I'll add a little bit more to this one. Just applying the same even amount of pressure, or else you're going to come with like gaps in between or too much pressure on it, and it won't look fun. And then you just keep on going around, having fun with it. Basically, you could do whatever you want with it. You can add dots. I'll end up adding dots later with my number 2 tip. I also usually start in the back of the cake. You find where the back of your cake is, just so that when you come around the end of it, you can kind of hide any little mistakes in the back. So just keep on adding. I have a little bit of a gap in here, but I can easily fix that. And then I'll just keep on adding some scroll work. This is kind of a fun way to put the finishing touches on your cake. It's a little blank around the sides, so if you add this kind of stuff, it gives it a cool finishing look. If you're using black buttercream and you make a mistake, on fondant you could take just a paper towel, and it's really easy. It's a smooth surface, so you can take it right off the fondant. If it's black, it might leave a little bit of a dye. So what you want to do is probably just go over it again, maybe a different pressure, and just add a couple swirls. The more swirls you use, it kind of distracts from the fact that there might have been a mistake there. Right now, as I was making the scroll, sometimes the buttercream will get like a little, like some clumps of sugar in the tip, and when you press, it doesn't come out. So it leaves a small gap right here. So I just kind of squeeze it out in the trash so it has an even flow. So it's all coming out. So I just go over it again and I scroll back around. You can hardly notice that there's a little gap there. So I just keep on moving. So that was with my number 3. I'll go back to my number 2 tip, which is a much smaller tip. You're more likely to get a little bit more cloggage in here. There's really nothing more than you could do about it. Just keep on applying pressure and get it to a nice even flow. And that's the scroll work. So now what I'll do to finish out this cake is, you can see at the bottom of this cake there's a little bit of a lip from where the fondant was cut. So I'm going to cover that with my number 3 tip again. And I'm just going to do a simple trim around the bottom, kind of finish up the cake. And I'm just going to do a cool trim where you apply pressure and release pressure in different directions. So apply pressure up and release, apply pressure down and release. And you just do that all around the cake. Once you find your rhythm, you find it's easier to go a little bit faster. You get near the flour, kind of try to get in the little creases of the flour, but the flour is actually going to cover a lot of it, so you don't have to worry about it if there's a little bit of a gap. We're getting to the end, and this is when I hope that it all comes together. And it did. And that's how you trim out and do filigree on a cake.